Hello, everybody. I just thought I've had a few people that have been asking me about embossing. So I thought I'd show you a few little tips and tricks that I've come across when I've been playing with embossing. So I hope you enjoy this little segment. And please let me know if there's other things that you would like to learn about or things that you'd like to get some tips about, I suppose. So normally what most of you will find is we use embossing with the embossing ink. So the clear embossing ink with then gold or silver, copper, a coloured embossing ink. But what I wanted to show you today is that you can also use oxide inks and then the clear embossing powder. So it gives you, again, a variety of things that you can do. So I've done this before just to show you, and again, I don't know if it's going to come up on the camera, the difference between, this is just stamped, but then this is embossed, and it's not going to show, is it? I just don't have enough light to show you the difference. Let me see if I can get it. No, you can't even see the way it's raised. Anyway, I'll show you. You can see there's a bit of a different colour there between the two. So it is quite lovely. It will give you that nice raised image, but it must be the light that I've got here that's not allowing it to show up. I don't know if you can see there a little bit, maybe. So anyway, that's embossed with colour. So rather than going out and buying a whole heap of different coloured embossing powders, you can use your oxide inks with then the clear embossing. So what I thought I'd just show you first is some quick tips. So if you've got textured paper, if you want a nice crisp image, you're much better off using the smooth side. If you're wanting a bit of a distressed look, then of course, by all means, use the textured side, but it's just something to be aware of. Now, before we start, I'm going to use the puff pillow, which is like a little pillow full of, it's like talcum powder, and it will just basically takes the static. I'm going to use the smooth side. So pop it on the smooth side. It's going to take the static out of the paper, out of the card. So again, you might find you want those little bits of extra powder around your image. Or you might just want a really crisp image. So if you were doing like a constellation background or something that was a bit distressed, vintagey, then vintagey, it is a word, I assure you, you would then maybe not use the puff pillow because you might want that extra little bits of flecks of the embossing powder. But if you want that nice crisp image where your embossing powder is just staying on your stamped image, that's when you're going to use the anti-static puff pillow. Okay? So again, I'm going to use our gorgeous mandala stamp, so the Christmas mandala, which is the stamp of the month for November. So when you place an order, so this is, I've just been playing with this, so I'm actually going to show you how you can stamp with the oxides first, so as this has already got the blue on it. So all you're doing, you need to make sure your ink pad is nice and inked up. So if it's dry, it's not going to work as well because your embossing powder needs something wet to stick to. So I'm just going to pop it over here. So just stamp down and then quickly get your embossing powder on. So you need to stamp and get the embossing powder on. If you leave it, so you can see here now how that's a different colour. Can you see that? This is the one that's got the powder on that I've just stamped and popped the clear embossing powder onto. So I'm just going to come around this way where I've got the heat tool. So when you're embossing, you're going to put it on directly. And you're going to see how that is turning up here already. The colour's changing. So you're then just going to follow that change. So it can happen quite quickly, especially if your heat tool, you've been doing a bit of embossing. If you keep that heat on, it will make your image flat and it won't be lovely and embossed. So just follow it around until it changes, and then don't do any more, because the more you heat it, the flatter it's going to get. So I don't know if you can see a little bit of sparkle there now, a little bit of shine, to see the change, the difference between the stamped image here and then the embossed image there. Okay, so it just comes up. It gives you that bit extra on your card, a little bit of extra dimension. So I really like embossing, clear embossing with the oxide inks. So now we've done our puff pillow on this piece of black here. We're going to use the same stamp again, but I'm just going to wipe it off, because I do not want blue ink on my clear embossing ink pad. And then I'm going to use a trusty old towel just to give it a bit of a dry off before I go inking up. So all I'm going to do, so clear embossing ink. So make sure it's really well inked up. Then we're going to stamp down. And we're going to have make sure the gold. Oh no, of course I haven't opened this one up. Sorry guys. Teeth do come in handy, don't they? There we go. So I should have had that all ready to go. I'll just quickly take that off and then quickly pop the embossing powder on. Now, if you don't have one of these little trays, you can use just some scrap paper, catch your embossing powder on the scrap paper. Now that's pretty well done. So always make sure you put your powder away, cover up your ink pads so you're not getting embossing powder on them, and make sure you put your lid on your embossing powder so that when you use your heat tool, you're not going to blow it away. So just remember, you're going to have your heat tool at a 90-degree angle, and you can see it changing here in the point here, and then you're just following it. So you can see how quickly this is moving. So I'm just following it around. And there's a shadow. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just turn this off for a second so that you can see that how lovely that comes up on the black cardstock. Okay. Now, if I was to, so that's done, but if I was to, and I'm not sure how well this is going to come up, but I want to just show you what it looks like when you've overdone it. So you can see how quickly that was done. Now I've missed a bit here. Obviously I didn't get enough embossing powder on, but I'm just going to overcook this area here, just so that you can see because it will become dull and flat. So it's like I'm not going to go and do it now. It does it more with the silver, I find, is a... Yeah, it has gone a bit flat. So you can see here, this part here, it's started to wear out. See this second line here, it started to move away, and it has gone, when you run your finger on it, that area has gone flat. So if you want that lovely raised image, just keep it, so you're keeping it at a 90-degree angle, not this sort of angle, because by doing that, you're heating over the top of it over a wide area. You want to keep it on the one area, and then what I say is you chase it around. So just keep following where it's melted. So you always need to have it in a nice light so that you can shine it in the light so you can see that change happening. So enjoy having a play. If you've got any other questions that I can help you with, please feel free to contact me. I'm always here. And have a play with your oxides and the clear embossing powders and see what lovely techniques you can come up with. I'd love to hear about them. Please let me know. Okay, so anyway, take care. I hope you've enjoyed this little embossing tip, and we'll catch you next Tuesday. Bye. Oh, also, please let me know if there is any tips that you would like some help with. Okay, see you. Bye.